Opening up the UFC Vegas 107 fight card, we have Rayanne dos Santos taking on Alice Ardelean. You may know her as Rayanne Amanda, but you also may know that she is 14-8 in her career. She is 3-2 in her last 5. She is on a 2-fight skid, and yet she is somehow a 3-1 favorite taking on Alice Ardelean. Also 3-2 in her last 5. She is looking for her first win, and 9-7 in her career. We have a tale of 2 women here. One of them is a social media superstar. The other one is an actual professional fighter trying to pursue that career. And that one is Rayanne Amanda, or Rayanne dos Santos. She's an aggressive grappler. She's got fluid striking. She's incredibly light on her feet. She will just move forward and constantly do something. She does not get overly aggressive with the wrestling, but when she gets it to the ground, she's got a great balance of ground and pound as well as positions over submission. She'll keep the pressure. She will stay busy. She also just got robbed. I thought she beat Pooja Tamar in that fight. The reality is she didn't wrestle as much as she should have, but she moved forward. She was busy with the striking. I just thought that was a bad decision. She's taking on Alice Ardelean. The UFC signed Alice Ardelean because of her social media presence. But the reality is she's also a pretty fun fighter, and that's why she's still on the roster. She'll fight. She'll get in your face. She'll try to make stuff happen. The skills don't necessarily line up to the pressure or the toughness, but Alice Ardelean is down to fight. Her record is 9-7. That's a lot of losses for somebody that early in their career, but some of those losses are to quality opponents like Weili Zhang, Diana Belbita. She is coming off that decision loss to Melissa Martinez, where we saw the pressure, we saw the toughness. We also saw that she got saved by a referee mistake in the 3rd round. She got kicked.
I was hot, too. I was at that fight. I was
because you were like, that's not a low blow.
Keith! Because Keith is the one that fucking called it, and then they replayed it, and they had to replay it like 3 times, and then Keith is like, it's like, we're restarting. That's a TKO, first of all. Like, what do you mean
yeah,
we're restarting the fight? She collapsed. The fight was stopped. I don't care if he thought it was clear that fight was over, and you're going to restart the fight? Like, what the fuck? Because that was a 30-27 for Melissa, but the live odds had that for, because I rewatched that fight, I think the live odds in the 3rd round had it like -300 for Alice. So people thought that Alice was like winning that fight for whatever reason. It's like, holy shit.
Forward, just blind forward pressure.
Yeah, it's like, Keith.
Yeah. No, and the reality is Alice is tough. She was saved in that fight. I don't think she wins this fight, but I do think these odds are crazy. Because while Alice is not a very skilled fighter, Rayanne is the more skilled across the board. The better striker, the better grappler, should win this fight. But Alice is tough. She will move forward. You could get some blind cage control, and she can end up working. She's she's talking on Instagram about a 3-month fight camp. So maybe she shows up in phenomenal shape, pushes a better pace, steals around. I think a +3.5 might be a decent bet here, but Rayanne dos Santos at -300 seems crazy, but she is going to be the pick because I just don't think Alice has the actual skills and would be relying entirely on toughness. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that breakdown. Rayanne is the better fighter. She really wants to get to the wrestling, but hasn't really been able to in the last 2 fights. Honestly, this fight not going the distance at +300, or I think under 2.5 is like a +325 or something like that. I think that's pretty good value because you're looking at these last fights that these girls have fought. Rayanne against Pooja, who wants to just kind of dance around and sidekick and stays away from you. Rayanne is a girl that wants to stay in your face. She's walking girls down. You look at Alice Ardelean, is the same type of fighter. She fought Melissa Martinez, who's a taekwondo, karate, bouncing around. She fought Shauna Bannon, who's a bounce around, run away from you type girl. Both these girls want to get in. They want conflict. They want to throw down. In those exchanges, Rayanne might be able to find some of those takedowns that she's looking for. Alice is also, somewhat capable on the ground. I think these girls really get after early. They are the type of fighter that each of them wants to fight because they each want to get in each other's face and kind of counter strike. It's going to be who can hold the center of the octagon. I think Rayanne is going to be able to do that a little bit better, and if not, I would not be surprised if we see a finish. I know a lot of early cards, these female fights, we've seen some random finishes that you don't really expect. I think there could be one here because you see a lot of decisions from both these girls in the last few fights, but that's not really their fault. They're the ones moving forward. Even Rayanne against Toledo. Toledo's just like a fucking tank, right? I mean, she was gassed or whatever. Probably could have been finished, but she's just like a fucking durable tank. Both these girls are tough in their own right, but I think they're really going to get in both of each other's faces, and we'll see what happens. I got to go Rayanne because a little bit more ways to win, a little bit cleaner of the striker. But honestly, I thought Melissa Martinez was going to fucking style on Alice. I was very high on Alice. She did win a 30-27, but being at that fight, watching that fight, I came away from that being like, holy shit, Alice is a fucking tough girl. She's going to hang in there. She's going to, put herself out there, and, it is what it is. But I think there's going to be a random finish, and I like Rayanne to maybe get that done.
Yeah, listen, I didn't touch the over here. A patented Angelo over is take the ladies' fights and just parlay the hell out of them. Or safety parlay for a lady over. This wasn't one of those. Because even if we go back to the last event, at UFC Vegas 106, there were 3 lady fights. 2 of them finished inside the distance. And one of them, the over was minus 450. That was not supposed to happen. This feels very similar to Jacob's point. 2 sloppy women who are going to move forward. You may get a random finish in the mix here.
7, 8,
what are we counting?
7 of these fights are favored to go over 2.5 rounds. And it just feels like on those type of cards, that's where you get your finishes. I don't know why, but it just feels like this could be one of those weird cards.
If you are a premium member and you go to analysis in the menu and then click on round leans, you'll see a chart. Every fight on the card, what the round line is, and then me, Artem, Betsam, if we think it'll go over or under. I was typing out over almost every time. I was like, over.
I'm looking at it right now.
It's over. It's like, this is probably over. Now, obviously, they're not all going to go over, and we're going to get some flash finishes that we don't expect. But if I'm looking at it, I have to work off what I expect, and I expect most of these fights to go over.
Have you ever finished with just a flash?
Too many times.
We're doing mince in the mouth, huh? It's good for podcasting.
It's almost done. It's a lozenge. My throat's a little raw. I had the weed alcohol yesterday.
Did you want to talk about that at all?
I had weed alcohol, and it hit me like weed. Shocking.
Did you want to talk about some of the texts you were sending last night?
I think the texts were just, I can't believe this actually worked.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Like, genuinely, I do. I genuinely, we just went to the liquor store.
You were sending like the most like.
I was straight up high like a teenager.
I know. Like it was like, I'm reading them because I was a little high too. And I'm just reading them like this fucking dude just fucking, that one, because you were talking to me and web guy Josh in our group chat. And then you made it a point to go to the other group chat and said like the same thing. I'm like, Jesus, man, go to bed. Like, fucking,
the reason I did that is
sitting there just fucking rambling on. I'm like, oh my God.
The reason I did that is because somebody in that other group, I don't want to say names, just in case, somebody in that other group chat, and these are perfectly legal. I bought it at the liquor store. Somebody in that other group chat last time they were over, when Tiffany ran to the store, was like, oh, get me some of those THC beers. So that's why I put it in there, because I'm like, oh, he likes these. It wasn't a beer. It was a bottle. It looks like a bottle of liquor, but it's THC. It's 100
hemp-derived THC.
You say that, but it's straight up. It says THC.
It's hemp-derived THC. Here's the text. And this is how I knew, right? Angelo at 11 o'clock last night. Says,
and wait, hold on, real quick. I don't partake. My body has no tolerance for THC.
You're gonna be,
I don't partake.
It's going to be very clear that you aren't normally high because these are the texts Angelo said. Guys, weed booze got me fucked up. 2 shots after drinking all day and I'm high as fuck. And I said, doubtful. Right. I said, doubtful. And this is how you prove that you were high. To the point that I thought I sent that second text to you hours ago. I came back to see if you replied and noticed I'd sent it to the wrong trail. I said, yeah, I'm sure it was true. But I'm like, oh, wow. So my response was, oh, wow, yeah, so high. Forgot about a text. My gracious, praying for your safety. And then you sent the screenshot, like, proving your point of, like, that, yeah, look, I actually did forget. It's like, yeah, no kid. And then you said, I have what they call, quote, Cottonmouth. I said, wow, man, what are you going to do? And you said, this is way better than any gummy or plant I've had. I said, call the cops on yourself or shut the fuck up. And then I said, quote, I'm so high, end quote, fucking high schooler.
Dude, it just blew my mind.
It's like such a teenager thing.
Agreed.
Just to be like, bro, dude, I'm so hot.
Dude, agreed. And the chat is misunderstanding what's happening here. This guy's like, oh, Angelo has weed. It wasn't weed. It was alcohol. It's not even alcohol. It's THC. Hemp. It's THC.
It's hemp, THC, and CBD.
And you buy it 100% legally at the store.
For now.
There's nothing. Yeah, for now they're trying to pass it, but there's nothing illegal about it. This is at a major chain liquor store. Like it's a product on the shelves. It's not weed. You don't smoke it. It's not an edible. It is entirely 100% legal. That's why I was surprised. If it was just like you gave me a gummy that I shouldn't have, I wouldn't be surprised by the results.
You were acting like
this
you were
surprised
extremely high. It's like I've called the cops. I know what high is. I've called the cops on myself. This is what I said. I thought this was pretty funny because I actually was a little bit high as well, and I thought this was pretty funny. Stay with me on this one. I said, if you're not just because this is literally what I do when I get really high, if I'm not calling the cops on myself. I said, if you're not just standing in your kitchen staring at your phone for 45 minutes, then all of a sudden realize you've been standing in your kitchen on your phone doing nothing for 45 minutes, but then continue to stand there for another 30 minutes before putting yourself to bed, only to get into bed and realize it's only 8 p.m., but you're already there, so you just stay there. But then you watch TikToks for 30 minutes, but then you realize it's actually been 4 hours. And now it's 1 a.m. and you can't fall asleep because you've lost your high and you kind of have a headache, then you aren't actually really high.
Dude, there was a few of us that like, let's try it. It's legal. Like, let's try it. Whatever we got at the store. We were laughing like children. Like it was all the dumbest parts of being high, just like giddy as hell. I did get like the side effects of cotton mouth and I scratched my head and it was like numb. So it's like, this is...
You scratched your head and it was numb. Did you read that on the internet somewhere? Were you Googling?
That's what happens when I get that feeling, like I'll go like this and it's like kind of like airy and numb. That's what happens to me. And that's what happened. It was crazy. Dude, it was crazy.
You sound like an undercover cop that Googled...
bags of sand.
You were like on Reddit looking about like how people talk about being high, and then you're just like talking about it. Like, this is your way to be like, I'm not a cop, guys.
I'm no narc. I was shocked because this wasn't a gummy. This was a perfectly legal liquid at the liquor store. And I just assumed it would do nothing. And I was like, whoa, I feel it. Blew my mind.
I still don't think it did anything. It was just fucking... And then I was trying to freak you out. I was sending you pictures of the Grim Reaper and stuff, and
no, I was giddy. It was all the best parts.
I was like, let's see if he really is high, and I was sending him pictures of the storms coming in and stuff.
Well, the storms were a problem because at 2:30 in the morning when it woke me up, I was like, "What's happening?"
If you were actually high for these storms about to come through in a couple hours, nothing like waking up high in the middle of the night in a panic. I've done that with fire alarms, and it takes 10 minutes to process what the fuck is happening. Then I sent the picture of the radar, and I said, death is coming for you, you sinner.
I didn't even do anything illegal. All perfectly legal under Texas state law.